And action. Why action? Well, I want to share a little bit of story about what I learned about action and emotion. So I'll start out by saying that in a video yesterday, I talked about my coaching and the rewards and the frustrations of it. And I was smiling. I was probably coming off like, hey, I got this all figured out. And I kind of thought I did, because there's something about the process of talking about it and sharing. And plus, you know, I'm making this video and it's almost hard not to smile a little bit. But it turns out that I really was, it wasn't so easy for me to let go of some of those frustrations. Even though I wrote about it, I talked about it, I thought about it, I shared and put a positive on it, that process, and it's just, sometimes it doesn't work. So I actually kind of was still a little upset and not feeling great when I went to bed last night. And then I woke up this morning and just was in a bad mood because I hadn't let it go. And so I wanted to, I actually did a little research, what I do about letting go. And, you know, just thinking about it, you always think about, you know, well, what makes me feel better? And what are the healthy things that make me feel better? Because, you know, there's a whole lot of unhealthy things that I do that I want to make me feel better, but they really don't. Some of them are almost designed to kind of like punish myself because I feel bad. And with me, sometimes it's like a eating thing. So, and, you know, other people have different habits that they turn to when they want to feel better. So healthy ways, and you could find all kinds of things. And it's so funny because I have, I have my dogs and my cat, and I never think about how you actually do kind of turn to them. And it's just the funniest thing, you know, you can't really be petting your dog and hanging out and not feel a little bit better. So it's not really going to cure everything, but it was kind of funny because those are the moments I felt better. So, and sure enough, so I start Googling, how to cheer yourself up, how to feel better, blah, blah. And you wouldn't even believe, like, how often you read about the pets. And I actually read that study after study, science shows that being around your animals can actually make you happier. So, I mean, it's sort of one of those like duh things. So anyway, action controls emotion. And I forget that sometimes. Sometimes when I'm not feeling good, I like to shut down or kind of just close myself off, and sort of not do anything. But that's really not the way to go. And this is kind of a funny story. I learned that lesson. I had never ever given that thought. And that's actually not the way it was taught to me. That's just the 3-word phrase that, you know, I was able to remember from this experience. But I was at a conference, this was about 1.5 years ago, and Tony Robbins was one of the speakers. And he was definitely very energetic and powerful in his speaking. It was pretty wild. It was pretty like out there. And he had us literally standing on chairs, jumping up and down to teach us this lesson about how action controls emotion. He had talked about it, but there was something about doing it. And it's really funny because as kind of silly as I thought it was at the time, I just kept telling myself that action controls emotion. And I can't tell you how many times when I remember to apply that lesson, how it can turn things around. And what I like about it is action, emotion. You could define those in whatever way works for you, and it still works. So whatever emotion it is you want to control, and whatever action you think will do it, it really doesn't matter. Because when I first started doing this, it was more of just kind of a, like, I don't know, say I got in a fight with Shane, or the boys were driving me crazy, and my go-to has always been just leave, just shut down, just go to a quiet spot, cry, whatever, just, go away, kind of feel sorry for myself, but definitely do it in a way where I'm not doing anything except sitting there, maybe with my eyes closed, just really not acting. And so the first time I came, this was in Vegas, and I came home after this, and I just kind of went in my old MO, and all of a sudden I remembered action controls emotion. I remember. And then I had to, work a little bit hard to convince myself to get up and do something different. Habits are hard to break, whether they're good or bad. And the first time I did it, I just thought, well, what can I even do? I can't do anything. Just this feeling is so powerful. And I just washed dishes. It sounds so silly, but washing dishes. And by the time you did it, it did make a difference. And so it's something I just try to keep telling myself. And boy, man, I tell you, it's really a lesson I wish I had learned a long time ago. Probably could have got me through some other situations. And don't get me wrong, you can't just wash dishes and not deal with your feelings, because you're having emotions, you're having feelings for a certain reason. And ultimately, you're still going to have to work those out and figure those out. But I swear to you that those 3 words make a difference. They can get you there. They can be the little step you take. So that's where I'm going to leave it tonight. And after a very rough morning, because my bad mood just kind of spewed out, onto the boys, and it just wasn't fun. And then just you can kind of create your own negativity if you carry that around. And so I did that a little bit. And luckily, I taught 2 classes today, and I don't think I've ever been able to not put it away during the class, because I see that as my job. And I love my students. My students for my group exercise, they all want to be there. I think they're all amazing, because I think anybody who gets their booty out of the house and whatever they have to do and come take a class, they're usually something pretty special about them. That's what I've found. I never really knew that. I never saw it from that perspective till I started teaching. And where I teach, most of them tend to be a little bit older, and I just love them. I have the cutest older ladies in my class. I have a guy, and I don't know. They, no matter what is going on, always bring me joy. That process of just like giving that, just gifting them the class. And I really like that. So, but sadly, pretty much right afterward, I just, mood came back, and I had to really work to I'm getting some hearts. Is that? Hey, bye, Aunt Bye. How are you? I love you too. I'm heading to bed soon. So anyway, I just really wanted to share that message, because I did have to utilize it today. And sometimes it can come in the form of doing anything. And sometimes it could be just doing that thing that you've been putting off and you haven't been wanting to do. Getting that thing done can actually just, I don't know, just get those endorphins going and cheer you up so much that you're able to deal with the other things. So I am going to sleep better tonight. I am going to wake up in the morning feeling a lot better, because I handled it. So I still have to work through whatever was making me upset, but I'm going to do it. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you, and seriously, try it. Okay. Good night. Sweet dreams. Thank you for listening.